MakingStarWars.net.
Hello, I'm Jason Ward from MakingStarWars.net, and today we're going to talk about Star Wars news and Star Wars stuff and other stuff. Hey,
do we have to?
These Avatar people need to get off the show.
What?
I need Star Wars Rob back and Avatar Rob.
What?
Wait a minute, you're getting paid. James Cameron.
I'm literally covered in Star Wars figures, and I'm a Force ghost. What more can I do?
Cameron Shill.
Yes. Yes. Give me that big Thor. Yes.
Listen. Just because Steven Spielberg and George Lucas are best friends and Cameron's like the ugly friend who gets the toe along.
He's not. He's the little kid they babysat, and now he's kicking their asses at the theater.
No,
I got a question.
I think he's
yeah,
ugly
he is.
Friend. I think he's an ugly friend.
I got a question. Why do they not market Spielberg's name with the Fabelmans? Like, that is so weird, right?
Kinda. I think it's
because I was telling
not really 100% an autobiography, or you know what I mean, and it's like based on. So I think that they walked a line with that.
But I went to the barbershop yesterday, and fully masked, and they didn't even know he directed it, and they'd seen all the commercials and shit. You know what I mean? Let alone that it's based on his life. Like, it just seems like I almost feel like he's like hiding that because out of like modesty. But it's like, man, you probably want to make some money, right? Like I don't know. That name Spielberg, maybe lean into it more when you release a film. I don't know. Odd.
Yeah, I agree. I think Hollywood people get it, and outside of Hollywood, it's not so clear, probably. But once again, remember, the show's for adults. It's not for children. And yeah, more people were supporting you on Reddit than ever before yesterday, and I appreciate
me.
Not
you.
You're
Damn it.
You're just like, you left me when they all went up to me. No,
I did. Fuck this guy. Like, I mean, I'll just get his info at MakingStarWars.net.com. Whatever.
No, it was nice, and I saw, every now and then I would see somebody saying something that was just like really like just incorrect, and I was just like, well, what do you do? I'm to a point of just like letting it go. And just being like whatever about it, 2
days later, this fucking
wait a minute, no, I'm not that guy.
Santa has to do a wellness check on you.
No, that's not me at all. You know what I mean? I don't let it go. Oh, look right here.
Summon the hose, Jason.
It's the person who sent me pictures I didn't ask for, and then try to
let's
make
not
it
go
like
there.
it. Oh, I've gone there. And look, this is her. Somebody's also basically, this is not public at all. And she's like, laugh out loud. Trust me. Plenty of people saw me.
All right, let's not do
you
this.
The sex offender,
Jason.
People don't want to see you naked.
All right, Jason. I don't want to.
Yeah, that was all me. That's not Rob. That's all me.
Right.
But that's the world that I live in. Fuck it. I hate it.
I told you not to interact with people, didn't I, Jason?
Yeah.
Didn't I tell you?
Yeah, that's not really,
Didn't I?
But,
by the way, so there's a 24-hour like market around here. Hold on. And I had to go out there and get some essentials at 2 a.m. Right. So I go there, and there's one cash register dude working there, and there's these dudes in front of me, and they're buying beer and whatever, and they're like trying to make friends with the register guy, right? And they go, "Hey man, you play COD? You should come on and play COD with us. Call of Duty, right? Call of Duty." And the guy is like, "Nah, I'm cool." He's like, "Oh, you play Fortnite? Come on, you gotta play Fortnite." And like he's like, "Nah, I don't play Fortnite." "Well, you don't play Fortnite? Oh, you're too modest." And I'm like, look at these fucking Fortnite guys. Trying to.
Fortnite
I told him like
an 80 million installed base or something like that. There's going to be some weirdos in the Fortnite thing,
Right, Jason?
No, I mean, what, me and Bespin just hang out, have a good time.
The weird part is though, you go to Cracker Barrel to play Fortnite. I didn't expect you to do that. Yeah, you stream it on your phone.
If we even had a Cracker Barrel here, it would be filled full of roaches. The last one we had roaches in the butter. I remember the last time I was ever at a Cracker Barrel in Southern California, there was roaches in the butter, and we were like, we're out. And over the weekend we did a scooper And that's why I'm Anderson Scooper still. Just realized that. And we showed a couple of like the Praetorian guards from Mandalorian season 3. Yeah, so as the truth says, Reddit only link original source as per rules. Posts aren't original source. Mods can't even uphold their own rules. Yeah, they can't. They just keep moving the goalposts. Like I said, it's and they make it sound like it has nothing to do with competition, but it has everything to do with competition. It has to do everything with thinking that they could change out who does what I do, and that's
That
just
I agree
not
with.
the truth. That's just not the fucking truth, you know. And once again, I mean, even the fucking dumb shit that I did do is misrepresented. You know what I'm saying? Or like when I'm making fun of somebody on a forum who we knew personally, by the way, and this was a personal forum. This wasn't like a forum you could just like Google, you know, back in the day and go to. This was like an invite only community. And in that community, there was people that I didn't like that were pieces of shit. And there was one that would go on like Asian sex vacations and try to get Asian wives because they were subservient, not because they're beautiful women and stuff like that, because they were subservient. And it was like, ugh. So we make a lot of jokes about it.
Actually, never had to deal with Asian mother-in-law.
Yeah, I don't know about any of that, but
I do. My Aunt Maggie will fucking subservient is the last fucking thing.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I mean, I don't. Yeah,
and her daughter. No, hell no.
I'm not endorsing that as a methodology for finding a mate or anything like that. You know what I mean?
I know, but that stereotype's such bullshit. You know, it's like
yeah. Well, you know what? I don't know if it ever worked out for that person, but I don't even like that person. But once again, they win because of sarcasm. You know, sarcasm.
Do you think in Everywhere, Everything All at Once, Kim Kwan's character, he thought he was getting a subservient wife?
I don't know.
And then didn't. You know?
Yeah, I mean, but anyways, point. That's not my. But the point is that it like they will take making fun of something else or some inside joke in a community that they don't understand, and then take that to be like, oh, look at what he's saying. You know, look at what he said. When I said that's normal for a girl your age to somebody I was hanging out with in real life who was an adult and who was going, oh my God, Jason Ward followed me. And I didn't follow her because we were friends in real life. I followed them on the Making Star Wars account. I followed people that have to do with the Star Wars stuff. And so that was her being sarcastic, me being sarcastic back, and then them using that just to be fucking generally pieces of shit. Oh, and one more thing while I'm on it. Well, this will be like the end of it. Somebody was also like, oh, he's like Phantom Menace. No, I'm not Phantom or Fandom Menace, not
I say the movie.
Fandom Menace. I'm not Emperor Palpatine. Okay,
look, I've seen you step in Poodoo several times, so I don't know. You know what I mean? And you thought it was funny.
No, I have always called it as I see it. I don't mean that like in like that, you know, fucking like I call it as I see it, bro. I don't mean it like that. I mean it in the sense that I have never taken marching orders from the left or the right in the Star Wars community. I've always gone with what I see as being the fucking truth. So yeah, the fandom Menace does not like me. I talked to the fandom Menace because number one, 2 reasons. They were going to put out a story about an ex of mine being raped, and I didn't want that to happen.
Jesus.
Yeah. And the other thing, and that's the fucking.
What does that have to do with Star Wars news? Like,
oh well, because they were trying to make it sound like there were all of these rapists in the Star Wars community because it was about hitting the Star Wars community. And then once that got around, and the comedy is the person who they were trying to put that on, which wasn't actually true. That person who they were blaming for it did not do this, and Celine is involved in that too. You probably didn't know that, Amy, did you? Your buddy from your podcast, who you had to act like, I just don't know him anymore, was also
such a fan of Celine Dion too. I can't believe she got involved in all this.
I know, right? But here we are. No, but anyways, they don't like me. They never did. They call me a SJW. They call me a soy boy. I try to tell them these pot tits are pot tits from wheat, not from soy. I don't eat soy. I eat fucking crap.
Let's be honest, cashew milk and almond milk's better than soy milk. Let's be honest. It's all filled with gum Arabics anyway, but
Right. But anyways, point being is that yeah, and so I made the left mad and the right mad because I was just like, you know what? I'm not gonna just go with like the fucking talking points of your community. I'm gonna go with the truth, especially when it personally affects me, like people I love. So yeah, you could go listen to me be interviewed by Ethan Van Sciver. I don't fucking kiss his ass. I say the truth the whole time. That's what I did. And if anybody has a fucking problem with that, they could kiss my ass. At the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. That's the fucking truth.
But that's what a debate is. I mean, TYT had Matt Gaetz on. It doesn't mean they support Matthew Gaetz. Like,
all these fucking people are all about like, oh, I love Padme. She's my favorite character. Yeah, what did Padme try to do? Diplomacy. I actually did at one point in that. I was actually hoping that maybe
you were naive.
Yeah, you were stupid.
Yeah. I mean, if you thought you weren't friends with me at the time, I would have told you, look, let me tell you about this fucking dude going back to like 2004. You know what I mean? Like I've been dealing with that fucking asshole. I don't want to on the internet.
Shit, though. I don't want to step.
I know. But this is well documented shit. This is not like, so like this is nothing new. This is a problem of recency bias too. People think everything on the internet now like is the first time it's ever happened on the internet.
First time you heard it's when it happened.
Yeah. Like, no. That's like when someone sees a bad Star Wars movie, they're like, this just happened? Like, no. Welcome to Return of the Jedi. Yeah. We've all been doing this for a while now.
So like, and then this will be like, we'll just get out of this now. But it's like, I want to talk about Star Wars. I don't want to deal with this with all of this shit from the fucking maniacs on the left from Twitter. I don't want to talk about anything having to do with the maniacs on the right from YouTube or any of that shit.
Does that include Santa?
You all. No, I love Santa. But I hate all of those. I hate all of that. Like, and anybody who doesn't like, I don't care if you're a left, if you're right, if you're center, if the truth is not paramount to you, I don't fucking want anything to do with you anyways. That's why I have been fairly good at this Star Wars stuff over the last 10 years, because I don't go, well, here's what I want. Here's what I hope. I try to go with what I think is, and I'm not always right because I'm human, but I'm better than most, and on that front.
Sometimes I'm more right than you.
Sometimes. I mean, like politically, like you're all like,
no, hey, it's just Star Wars and fan shit. Like I could care less of who's right politically.
Got a problem with my pronouns now? You got a problem with my pronouns, bro? No. No. Anyways, how
are you supposed to get through life without using pronouns? Like I'm just trying to figure that one out.
Just don't use them. No, just kidding.
How?
Yeah. But yeah. So then and some of those moderators on Reddit,
fire spray.
Yeah, some of the people on the mods on Reddit are like, oh, and then he went after us last week or something like that. Yeah, because you're fucking spreading misinformation about me. You're fucking part of the problem. You're being a bunch of shitheads. And the minute you stop, it's water under the bridge. The longer you continue this, the more it's a fuck you moment for me. And on top of all of that, I don't know who your mods are specifically, because you hide who your mods are. You have your mods list hidden. But you said that I didn't like write mods and get crickets, but I wrote people who were mods who were supposed to be mods, like Jedi Paxis, and got crickets. So they're saying that they have the receipts. I have the receipts too. If you want them, by all means, contact me and I'll send them to you.
I don't want them.
Not you, Rob, the mods.
I thought you were talking to me.
But anyways, over the weekend we had a really fun Star Wars story about Praetorian guards, and basically they appear to be showing up in Star Wars The Mandalorian 3, the third season. And we did a video over the weekend, so you could go watch that if you didn't see it. And this is the guards design. And yeah, it's a pretty fun scoop, right? I think so.
Congratulations on that, by the way. I don't think people don't give you a good job, Jason.
Right.
They don't.
Yeah.
They don't.
They
I
really
do.
Don't. I know you do. I know.
I do. I have to call out my. I have to praise myself. I have.
So somebody in the comments, I don't like, I mean this like in a fun way. and respectfully, of course, in the comments was like, "Oh, those are the guys from Rebels and blah blah blah," and I'm like, they're completely not the guys from Rebels at all. Like, I've seen that mentioned a few times. Are they related to the Rebels, house? And I'm like, I mean, could they stem from it? It's a possibility with it just being red and kind of red, but it's not the same kind of red. These helmets are based off, like, the visor's different. The little antennas are based off of Robotech. It's like an homage to Robotech.
Yeah, but if they're just going to go with red guys in helmets and they're all royal guards from Return of the Jedi, I mean, we could play this game all day long. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So point being, I don't think so. Is where I'm going with this. Is as I'm going to say, I doubt it. And then so let's go over to BespinBulletin.com. The best Star Wars website.
We never do that.
Internet. Yeah, it's the best Star Wars website on the internet.
It is.
And
it is.
Yeah, I got to be honest with you. Like, I am loving this current like era of Star Wars, of this, like, of the community or whatever that we have, like the setup.
Rails against the Star Wars community for 30 minutes and then says, "I love this era." Like,
yeah, you know what? You want to know why, Rob? Because the seedy, shitty underbelly of it was always there. Like, that's been there the whole time. The difference is, like, right now, like on BespinBulletin.com, I have a comrade who is doing it right.
The Lord's work
from me. Yeah, doesn't steal from me. Like, works within the community. Like, it's, and then and then Star Wars Meg and Santa, and, like, it's great. I mean, I got, like,
loves a good Tim Tam.
Yeah, I mean, in the past, I have a pretty good sense for when I'm being used, and I could feel that I was being used, and I didn't want that to be the case. And, like, the people who I was with, like girlfriends and stuff like that, would tell me it's in your head, and I would go, okay, and think that it was me. Well, not that the girlfriend was using me, but I would be like, I don't know about this thing. They'd be like, I think it's in your head, and I should have trusted myself. Always trust yourself. And I was always right, and so I had to relearn.
Unless you're Donald Trump, like, then stop trusting yourself.
Oh, yeah, but you have to relearn. You have to relearn that sometimes, though, like, how to trust yourself. You know what I mean? And like, when somebody is really your friend and when they're not, and if you get that sense, oh, it's real. But anyways, right now I have the sense that it's all real, and I don't ever have the sense of being used by the current tribe, if you will. And I think that this is going to go down in the big picture as a really solid era for my side of things. So yeah, so this is a great exclusive by Bespin Bulletin, and I've been trying to step around it for a little while because he was working on it, and everything he's saying is true in this article, of course. And so, exclusive Star Wars Skeleton Crew set to wrap filming by March. And you could give Brian Bestino. Is that his real name? Brian Bestino? No, sorry, I'm joking. That's
David Faustino.
I know. That's what I was going for.
I know. Yeah, we're old. We're old.
But yeah. But anyways, you can buy him a coffee, or a Ko-Fi, or a Knockout FI. I don't know what it means. I don't know what that is. A cuppa Joe.
A cuppa.
So anyways, you could buy him one if you read his site all the time and you haven't. Drop him $1 and tell him, eat shit. Making Star Wars sent you. Right, eat shit. Making Star Wars sent me.
I'm doing that right now. Hold on.
Right. This is a competition. Making Star Wars 1. Eat shit. No, I'm kidding, dude.
I love being given permission. Hold on.
Okay, so this is BespinBulletin.com, my favorite Star Wars website. Many months ago, it was reported that the John Watts Spider-Man No Way Home and Christopher Ford Chaos Walking created series Skeleton Crew was due to start filming in June of this year and wrap by the year's end. I've been hearing rumblings that the filming on the series may have been extended for a little while. Or a little white. Oops, typo. I'll tell him. I'll tell him now. By a little while. But it wasn't until the past few weeks, after speaking to my sources, I can safely say that this is in fact the case. So Bespin Bulletin is confirming that this is what's going on, and it's true. It's all true. Sources tell me that Skeleton Crew started filming slightly later than planned, which once again, true. Though I did get footage of filming of a scene at California State University at Dominguez Hills in July. I didn't publicly share the footage until September. That's that little footage of the little kid on the like roller coaster kind of thing, looking like Rig.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can
I
see it on
remember.
Bespin Bulletins on
Yeah.
this website here. I'd say he should have embedded that again because wait, he did put a link to it. Maybe we'll go look at it again because it's fun. Since then, things have changed. Oh, wait, did I skip it? But the initial plan was to still wrap filming by the end of this year. Also true. Since then, things have changed, and the series is now aiming to wrap by March. That's a long time. It's a long time. I haven't heard.
They're shooting more scenes. It's gonna be 18 hours long, right?
No, it's because of other things. I haven't heard a hard date.
Damn it.
Well, and here's what's funny about this is Bespin. It's like I haven't heard a hard date. Yeah, I don't think they have a hard date. And it's entirely possible filming could continue past March if issues behind the scenes continue. But as of now, I've heard the series is looking to conclude filming by March. So
they tried to make the whole series with AI and it didn't work, and they got to redo it.
If you honestly like I think Bespin's being very reasoned here. Just 1 second, I want to give like a slight commentary here, but I think he's being very reasoned. So I think you would be wise to go with what he's saying here. But if you want to know my sense based off of like the little bits of fire that I've heard about this, little bits of heat here and there, I think it's going to go until like April. I would not be surprised if it doesn't wrap until April. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if they just end up celebrating it wrapping at Celebration, and they won't tell you that it went late. They'll be like, that was always the plan. So anyways, we go on to say, or Bespin goes on to say, the sets at California State University in Dominguez Hills were struck last month in the run-up to the holidays after months of filming at the location. As I had also previously reported, Skeleton Crew was filming at a studio in Culver City, but it's my belief that the rest of the filming will now primarily or entirely take place at Manhattan Beach Studios, California. And this is what made it kind of like confusing about what was Ahsoka, when was Ahsoka done, and stuff like that. But yeah, they basically just use whatever space they got. It's like I think that the Culver City place was like kind of like the an important place for like maybe some in the interior sets, but I'm not sure. Anyway, so Manhattan Beach, because Ahsoka is pretty much done. So there you go. One thing to note is that an article from Making Star Wars earlier this month stated that there's been issues during the production due to a grueling work schedule, and members of the crew left feeling underappreciated, overworked, disrespected, and disposable. And remember, like if you look at my article from the other day, side note, that starts on Mando 3. It comes to a head on Skeleton Crew. So that's what I've been told. So Bespin goes on to write, this is something I said during the same time he did, but that I had also heard he did. And I've been saying for weeks that problems with Manhattan Beach Productions has happened before. They have, but not to the extent going on with Skeleton Crew. Yeah, that's like the whole thing. When it came to Mando 3 and stuff, you did have things with like a certain, sickness that we're all getting and shit like that were causing productions to have issues.
Hepatitis.
Yeah. Hepatitis.
Yeah. Well, sorry.
Wasn't me. One source told me that members of the Skeleton Crew production would dream of working on Ahsoka. So this is funny because this is true too.
Ooh.
This is something we've all heard. One source, this is Bespin Bulletin. One source told me that members of the Skeleton Crew production would dream of working on Ahsoka, as production on that series was going smoothly in comparison to Skeleton Crew and was being sufficiently managed. Ooh, and if you're from Lucasfilm and you're like wondering who are they talking about, what is our problem? I'll give you a little clue about where to start looking. There's 2 versions of their name, and one version starts at the beginning of the alphabet pretty much, and the other at the end of the alphabet, pretty much. I think you can do the detective work, Lucas.
It was Dick.
It was Dick.
What?
He is a Dick.
Well, his real name is Cock, but it was Dick.
Yeah.
So anyways, figured it out. I'm like Benoit Blanc.
Yeah. So the production on that series was going smoothly in comparison to Skeleton Crew. Ahsoka was going smoothly and was being sufficiently managed, with management apparently being a key issue in Skeleton's production problems and caused low morale with some staff members. And one side note from making Star Wars commentary to this article is that these aren't all, like, in case anybody is just going like, oh, it's one person kicking all of this up. It's not. These are disparate sources by me and Brian
so Destino.
We don't have
sources.
We don't have the same sources either. Like, that would be a problem. At least we don't think that we ever do. It's possible, I suppose, but I don't think so. And we never hear
Chat GPD doesn't count as the same source, Jason.
Who?
Chat GP.
No, I don't know.
AI, you'll learn it by the end of the year.
Shut up, Paint Pig. I don't know. Have you heard that before? Have you heard that, by the way, about that whole controversy?
No.
There's this like AI artist, and like he's like, I don't know if he's trolling, but I say AI artist in quotations, and they're calling real artists like yourselves paint pigs. Paint pig. I've been meaning to use that.
Here's a pencil. Here's a pencil, fuckwad. Try to draw something. You know what I mean? I just want to see how much of an artist you are. Here,
you're a lid hog.
Because you know what kills me about these fucking assholes? These are the ones that look at postmodernism and they go, look, it's just splatters on a wall. That's not art. And then they type some shit in, do nothing, and they're like, I made art.
Hey,
you see what I'm saying, Jason?
Dude, I'm a bathroom Jackson Pollock. Trust me. Okay, anyways, I don't know.
Oh, no. You, sir, are why I stay home.
Okay, he says, I don't know if the rough production has had an impact on principal photography, and this is why filming will continue through the first 2 or 3 months of the year, but it wouldn't be surprising. I think so. I really, really, truly do think so. Because when you lose people and replace people, that causes slowdowns. Right? When things are poorly managed. I mean, it's just, the production managers fucking matter. If anything,
I gotta tell you,
yeah,
I was really hard up for money. I worked on this game magazine. It didn't pay for a year.
Did you just use a bunch of AI art? Is this the confession? Is this the confession?
I wish I would have made that game magazine. I wish it could. I wish it could. Yeah. But I really, I was not in a good place, and I'm like, I gotta get fucking paid. And
yeah.
This t-shirt company wanted me back, but there was a dude working there who was in charge of shit that I was like, I would rather work at McDonald's than deal with this guy. For good money. But there is a point where you're like, I can't. I mean, like, it's hard on a creative endeavor. Time is of the essence. Everything is really bracketed down to like a crunch window. Like, like when you're watching MasterChef, there's a time clock every day. Even in t-shirts where you're like, hey, there's only so much money they can spend on any project. So if someone's doing designs on, Rebels, but Rebels, ain't gonna fucking put a large paycheck in their wallet. You can't be on that for 2 days. Mm-hmm. You gotta be on that like fucking afternoon, shit like that. And so when you got a guy or a girl, whatever, a fucking person who's like really just going out of their way to make life miserable for everyone because they want to exert, their will to show how they, I'm the fucking man, like that guy in Avatar too, with the boat captain, where's the fucking, he's got the Hawaiian shirt on and shit, the Boogaloo shirt and shit.
Yeah,
like he's like, yeah, chop everybody, yeah, shit like that. Mm-hmm. It's just now. I mean, people go, oh, it's a job, you need the money. Like, yeah, but I also like, you can't. People go fucking insane on sets, dude. Like on any fucking situation. So I feel for him, man. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. And these are people who have been involved in many productions. These are people who have been involved in the Star Wars productions before, and they fucking know the difference. They survived
Kenobi.
Yeah. These aren't. No, that was fine. But
okay.
I'm no.
Well,
because Rob doesn't like it doesn't mean it was
agree
hard
to disagree.
I don't know if the delay in filming will impact the series release date, as Skeleton Crew is expected to release later half of 2023. Yeah, I personally kind of kind of doubt it that it would, but it definitely could. But I don't know. It was featured in TV Spot last month promoting what to expect from Disney Plus this year. But also remember, it was only in some of them. It was left out of some, included in others. Maybe because of this problem. I don't know. Lucasfilm have produced short turnarounds in post-production for their series in the past, such as the first 2 seasons of The Mandalorian, where the seasons wrapped filming in February 2019 and March 2020, and those seasons arriving on the streaming service in November 2019 and October of 2020. And also, it's important to remember that with the use of the volume, a lot of the work is pre-rendered. A lot of the heavy lifting of the series is done before. That's why I don't necessarily think it's going to be so common that we would get like a series canceled once that stuff is done. But anyways, the Book of Boba Fett had the shortest post-production time, as the series wrapped filming in June of 2021 and debuted on Disney Plus at the very end of the same year.
Shocked.
It's definitely possible that Skeleton Crew does release in 2023. If I were a betting man, then I'd say it will. But the production issues continue and filming gets extended even further, then who knows what could happen. Yeah, I am of the opinion that show was going to be sitting, if it was a smooth production, was going to be sitting, in the industry, we call it in the can. No, I'm kidding. But no, it's like I think that the series would have just been done and just sitting there, like waiting to come out for its time in the release schedule, And so I think that in the end, we might just have it where this one is being worked on maybe a little bit later than that. But I don't think it's going to affect us, but it really could.
I think that would have driven Meg nuts, knowing there's a whole Boba Fett series just sitting there.
Rob, do you know how crazy it drives me to know that there's a whole fucking Indiana Jones film just sitting in fucking Burbank right now, like fucking 20 miles from me? Yeah, it's pretty much done. I've heard
pretty much done is not done. Like
I've heard it's like fucking pretty fucking done. Like it's really, really close. Like it's like they could release it today if Disney got robbed and they needed some money.
Why you got to use my name?
Rob.
What can it be? What if it got Jason? What if I got Santa?
Oh yeah, and one more thing. I lost the comment. The comment was like Mando 3 production having. Yeah, here it is. Donovan is asking us. Donovan's all Mando having a troubled production. But once again, I have to reiterate over and over. It being a hard production, full with some people feeling disrespected and used up and just treated like shit, does not mean that those people give bad work. It doesn't mean that Jon Favreau wrote a bad script. It doesn't mean that Dave Filoni directed a bad episode. It doesn't mean that. It just means that it's things are kind of shitty and people are being somewhat exploited. And does that help a production? No. But I mean, some of your favorite movies probably had the most nightmarish productions of all time.
People would say James Cameron's best film is The Abyss, and why don't you go look at how that fucking film went?
Back to the Future. I mean, you know what I mean? Like look at
Back to the Future.
So
I mean, could you imagine now if they were making Back to the Future and they're like, they had to replace the lead actor 3 weeks in, vote of no confidence? Like, you'd never hear the end of this,
Right. So
Beverly Hills Cop had no script. I mean, really had nothing. Like Eddie Murphy had to make it up.
Book of Boba Fett was filmed like set up and shoot because they were just afraid of getting shut down. I think that's all half of the reason why that one isn't the smoothest looking one or the best one that we ever got or close to it, anyways. But at the same time,
take it over Kenobi at this point.
I don't think it was a bad production either, though.
Yeah, the designs of those Vespas has nothing to do with COVID.
Oh, no.
Like, that's just a bad decision.
No, but I also think that if the designs of those Vespas are like ruining it for somebody, I think that it's a bit much.
No, I mean, no more than when I look at the prequels, I'm like, why did you do that? Why did you do that?
But anyways,
Lanny isn't like, let's just not do that. Like,
yeah. But Mando having like and the other thing is that Mando 3 is done as well. That's like the other thing. Mando 3 is just sitting there.
That's right.
To go back to what you're saying, that shit's pretty much done too. And it's just,
I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
right? As a fan, when something is sitting in the can, I'm never gonna not laugh now.
In the Jackson Pollock container, as we call it over here.
In the porta potty, when it's just sitting in there stewing, does that leave it open more for leaks to come out, or does that make it less likely because it's stored somewhere and less hands are on it at that point?
I don't think. I think when it's like locked away, I don't think that comes out. Personally, I don't think so.
Right, because less hands are on it, right?
Yeah,
At that
yeah.
point, right?
It's
Okay.
like that's one of the yeah. I would say it's way less likely. I mean, it would take like some really weird like situation to arise. But I would also say that when you have leaks from unlikely places, it's always an unlikely story. It's always like no one would have thought that. No one would have thought that they would have, farmed out something to this weird company who had people that weren't under NDA and who were just like, yep, that's what we did, and stuff like that. There's all kinds of just weird shit, that could happen. And these things, and the other thing is like, I don't think that productions are necessarily always the same. Like it's kind of
They aren't.
there's always like this like dimension of it that's sort of like winging it just in some ways.
Well, McQuarrie talks about this in verbatim a lot, where he says you can't just use one, because one production went one way, it doesn't mean it's going to go the same. You can't
Right.
you apply that to the next thing at your own peril. Even in a Mission Impossible film, like what worked for the last one will not work for the second. Like he's just learned to adjust. But
yeah, and you have like different people because that's like the other thing. It's like working, if you've worked any job, whether it was at Walmart or an office or a movie theater, that like you change one person on that team and it's not a team anymore.
You
know
get
what I
Kathleen
mean?
Kennedy, and then
No,
right?
I mean it's an
Right.
alchemy. There is a certain socialization aspect to it where like how people interact. There's like an interpersonal level, and some of these people are like for instance, I've heard some, I'm not going to say who, I've heard some really shitty things about some people that work on Star Wars stuff before. Like I don't really
Me?
report that, but no, but I will say the thing I've heard, no, what I've heard is good, is I've heard Dave Filoni is fucking great. Like when he gets in there and he's like directing live action, we didn't know what to expect from somebody necessarily who was used to the animation sphere where everything is sort of planned out, where like every nuance of everything is planned out in a different
But
way than
Star Wars is planned out. Like that's what's crazy to me. Like it's the one
right.
thing that it should work better.
But there's also like well, I'm not gonna say who. Some directors go fucking way long. Some directors keep people after, you know what I mean? Like when they're not supposed to, they break union rules. Some of them just like don't know what they're doing when they're there all of a sudden. But I'm gonna say Filoni, who everybody loves, is not that. And apparently over the years, he has developed, if he's not as a doctor, but his directorial bedside manner is fucking great. Is what I've heard.
By the
And
way, Jason, every time you say break union rules, Santa gets a hoe. Like,
oh no,
yeah, it's true. It's true.
If he likes it, he's like, oh, and if he doesn't, he goes,
oh,
like he got hit in the stomach.
Got hit in the stomach.
Yeah. But it's also that's the safe example, because even as Bespin's pulling out, like of the current line of Star Wars productions, it sounds like Mando 3 was the most like rocky. It was the hardest. It was really hard. It was really difficult. And there were issues, but they got through them. They also did extra reshoots on that, I think. I'm pretty fucking damn sure. Based off of extra, there were reshoots, but and I think, I don't know if they were because of the schedule or if they were like a mixture of things. It sounds like a mixture of things, to be honest. But once again, that doesn't mean that it's going to be bad. And that's what we have, like, and reshoots are always sort of planned, or always sort of a part of it. But I think Mando had a little bit of extra there. But then what happens is when you go over to Ahsoka, then it goes pretty smooth. But when you get back to Skeleton Crew, the pig virus from Mando 3 reemerged. And
goddamn how it's done.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that. How did that guy not get an Oscar fucking
He's great.
nomination for that movie?
That guy's great.
I mean, that he
love
for that
guy.
movie, he was it what's his, I forget his name. I'm forgetting. But he's so fucking good.
Yeah.
It's so good. He should have got an Oscar.
And then my little interface here is being a little bit of a dickhead right now. Hopefully the show's working. Can you hear me okay, Rob?
I hear you fine.
Okay. Yeah, it's not letting me like change the comments all of a sudden. But I can't turn the comment off. Let me see if I could just choose hide current comment. Nope, I can't. I don't know why. But what was something? You could just take that comment off if you want to.
Oh, I haven't seen it. I'm drawing while we're doing this, buddy.
Yeah, no worries. Aria asked, "What's up with Mando episodes looking high?"
Whoa, what happened to Jason? You're stuck with me, folks. It's a good thing I started paying attention. Which comment? All right. Well, if Jason doesn't come back in a minute, I'm going to start reading the Avatar script in Jay Filoni's voice. So Filoni is going to come in and give us a Avatar script reading here. Oh, wait, no, Jason, shut up.
I guess it just decided it was going to throw me out.
Yeah, I don't see the comment. I don't see any crazy comment here.
No. I wasn't. I'm not able to see how it says Mando having a troubled production. I can't take it off.
Oh, you can't take it off. Maybe if I just click on off. Let's click on Rob Show. There, see?
Yeah. Oh, there we go. Rob Show. Rob Show.
Oh shit. As it true, I'm gonna make a graphic. Next time Jason it's gonna be the Rob Show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna put on DMCA disco music, right? Like I'm gonna get everything demonetized. Like
okay. It looks like it's working now. I don't know. I think StreamYard just pooped out on me. But Planet Fitness says, Aria, the Mando episodes were dim, while the Boba episodes were colorful. The volume struggles in daylight and colors. I that very well could be a component of it, but I think that it at the end of the day on Boba, they were afraid of being shut down. So because of the pandemic, so they were one of the only productions out there filming at the time, and any moment they could have been like, you're going home. So I think in order to make sure that it, number one, they could have a show that could come out, and number two, that it couldn't get shut down, it couldn't get canceled, it couldn't get taken away from them, all that stuff. I think they just set up and shot like fucking crazy, and they just worked through it at a breakneck speed and got it done. And I think that has a lot to do with why it's not as strong as it should be. That does not answer the like script issues and stuff like that. It doesn't.
Bro.
But what it does address though are script issues that may kind of always, not the structural issues, but the script issues that may always be there that would be worked out on set, probably just straight up weren't. They just went right through it. And like Rob will ask, why does this shot of, you know, Boba at the campfire look so rad in the concept art? And look at all of the lighting and the detail, and then look at the show. It's like a fucking like he's sitting like on a black stage with a one-man show light on him.
Yeah, I would ask that.
Yeah, no, completely. And I honestly think that's why. I think that they just did not take the time to get that and to pull that out, because I think they were up against the clock. I think they thought that they were up against, and maybe they were. So I think that's what's going on there. I think that's what happened. At the end of the day,
nothing more frustrating with the Boba Fett series than seeing that cool concept art, and then, you know, like what we got in the series, like what the fucking hell?
Yeah,
I'm not one to like over critique. You know what I mean? Like I tend to move on, but the disparity between the two is pretty fucking wild to me. Like,
yeah, no, and that's, you know, it's not like it's some first-time director. It's Robert Rodriguez. It's not like it's somebody who's never worked on from a production that's never worked on Star Wars. It's the same as the Mandalorian people for the most part. And yeah, and I also think though too, some of Mandalorian was filmed in a way initially in case things didn't work. Like they always had a plan B in case some of the things that they were trying didn't work. And I think that reliance on those plan Bs, not the abortion pill, but you know, the plan, the second alternate plan, they were able to, you know, basically like make sure everything looked tip top. And I think that's probably what happened there. But at the same time, I'm just a dummy like you, so I'm just guessing. After True says, creative director on the Star Wars strategy game just tweeted, "Today is a good day." He barely tweets, and when he does, he is reminding people he's making a Star Wars game. Could be nothing, could be something. It's probably a big day behind the scenes, at least.
I'm making a Star Wars game. Remember me?
Yeah.
I'm doing it. Don't forget.
Today is a good day. We decided to shut down production and make it a clone of PUBG. Yeah, we're doing that again. And then it'll never come out. But PUBG. Yeah. It was pretty funny. I was anti-Fortnite because I liked PUBG when it first hit. I was like, fucking PUBG's where it's at, man. It's the real deal. They're just ripping it off. And then PUBG just didn't change, didn't do anything. And I was like, okay, Fortnite's where it's at. Let's take it.
That's why people moved to Lord of the Rings after the prequels, you know.
What? Those people suck. Lord of the Rings is boring.
Lucas wouldn't adjust. There you
go. Lucas wouldn't adjust. Lucas fucking is the reason that Lord of the Rings was even able to be made.
They would agree.
They owe George Lucas was a changer. He was going through the change, hot flashes and everything. Santa says every time Jason gets kicked out, put on Genesis Greatest Hits until he gets back on. Santa, no.
I'm gonna put on that Santa guy I showed you who sings Steve Perry songs. Remember?
Oh yeah.
Super good. Yeah.
Man, and who thought that a song about coming in the air would be so boring? Probably the Vespas look goofy. Yeah, probably they did look goofy in the end.
Come on, man! Like for any movie, let alone Star Wars. I mean,
the Vespas.
Yeah, the whole thing.
Just wait until if I were Favreau, I'd be like, fuck Rob's bullshit, all his shit talking. We're putting in Star Wars segues. Star Wars with segues.
I dare you.
Boba Fett with segue game.
Oh, I fucking.
That would be good.
Just defy me. Just go for it. Like
Chilean Airways, what I always fly, says this probably means nothing, but I noticed the actor of Ezra has grown his hair and beard to the way as during the filming, as reshoots additional filming for Ahsoka happening soon. Not that I'm aware of. I just may not know, but I don't think so. And one thing about Ezra that I keep forgetting to follow up on is when I initially saw him, he had like short, almost like Star Killer haircut. And then people keep talking about how he has this like long hair during filming. So I'm not sure if it's going to be like two eras or if it's just, that's just what it is. There's always a chance that, he liked having the long hair or that he prefers having long hair and he had to cut it for a production and then for something else he's doing, there's a lot of
when Tom Cruise had that long hair in Mission Impossible too. Right. It grows out the locks.
But, but that beard is looking Green Knight-ish, isn't it? Aggressively relaxing says, John Williams has penned an original team titled Of Grit and Glory for tonight's college football championship. Go Dogs. Yeah, I saw that. I saw that he was doing some sports ball theme. So that's cool.
Is it the Trade Federation theme again? Remember when he did that?
There you go. I'm done.
He literally just put in the Trade Federation theme for the NFL thing. I'm like, look at you.
If you guys have never seen the Whitest Kids You Know John Williams sketch, watch that after the show. It's so fucking funny. I love it. It's one of my favorite Star Wars sketches of all time. As the True says, it's true. Almost no one cares about the strategy game. If it isn't Battlefront 3, most Star Wars gamers do not care. That said, January has been good for Star Wars games news the last few years. Yeah, it has. It's been a good game couple of years or a couple of months. And the thing about Star Wars fans though is we're oftentimes, or they, us, we, them, are in their own little Star Wars ecosphere that they don't step out of. So like they don't play other strategy games, and this will be their first introduction to it. And then this is where they will learn. I like strategy games, So,
is it going to have VR support? Because I'm telling you, strategy games in VR is the fucking shit, dude. Like,
yeah. Well, I would say the one thing about that is if it doesn't, modders are pretty good at bringing that to life on strategy game. You know what I mean? Because it's like it's so kind of.
I don't like strategy. I can't memorize the map. I can't get my head around maps in 2D, even 3D. I don't like it. But in VR, it's just like having a giant. It's like playing with your toys, man. Like as a kid, but they actually move and shit, and
yeah,
it's so cool. It's the one thing I'm like, why aren't they doing more with this with VR? It's so fucking awesome.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. Somebody made this little roller coaster game for Oculus Quest. It's like an indie developer who's like developing it. You could like get in on the beta right now, and it's like you know how they make those like roller coaster games. Well, you turn on the pass through on your headset, you tap it on your Oculus, and then you're able to like see your room, like the camera, and then you have like a pen, and you're able to like draw like the start of the roller coaster where the roller coaster will begin, and then you could just draw like with the controller like it's a pen all around your house.
Yeah.
And like draw the track and then watch like the little roller coaster go and stuff. It's cute.
Awesome.
It's fun. Yeah, it's like there's so many fun Lego games and stuff like that could be done in VR in the future. And I hope VR is not dead with that Facebook idiot fucking just being a moron.
Hey, remember when they said 3D was dead, and then look at now, right? So like it just takes someone actually making good content, and then people will come to it. Bullshit content is the problem, you know.
Yeah, but they killed 3D before, and then
with bullshit content, you know. Stop putting, yeah.
It was, I think was it Clash of the Titans, the sequel or the first Clash of the Titans remake? That was the one that I think like was like the one that really killed 3D. That was the one where people were like fed up, and it was just like we're done. There was bad press around it, and then George Lucas is like, "Oh, here's Phantom Menace." So, anyways, but it's true. No one cares about the strategy game. I think they will once they see it, though. I think once people see it, when Star Wars fans, or maybe I should just say pop culture or people in the mass culture,
people in general
aren't that people in general. They're not that creative. Like, you know, you try to tell them Grogu's in a fucking mech and it looks good, and they fucking hate you because they can't see how fucking cool that is.
The hardest part of my job as an artist is trying to like. You can't explain art. You can't explain a visual to them. So when you say, "Hey, this game is coming," like, no, like, it doesn't mean it doesn't mean anything until they can see it. Which is why it's so frustrating when game trailers get released, the initial trailers, and they're like a cinematic trailer, not the fucking gameplay on any level. Because it's like it doesn't like you need to show the game. You know, you got to do it to make it real for people.
Yeah. Green says, does Skeleton Crew wrapping production only a month before Celebration Europe mean no trailer release online publicly from Celebration, and that they'll risk each other being leaked online again? You know, when it comes to those trailers, usually, or on the Filoni side of things, we usually see stuff from the earlier episodes. Andor was like kind of the outlier there. So was Andor the start of a change of how they market these things, or was it just because Andor was for adults and had much more hurdles than, you know, Mandalorians? I think that it most likely they would be able to cut a trailer, no problem. That any delays I don't think would matter. I think that they filmed
it's in the can.
They filmed not Skeleton Crew. Mando. Mando would be out by then. But so Skeleton Crew, would they I don't think that they would only. I think that what they'll probably do to some extent is they will release something from Celebration, and then they'll hold most of it to make it like it was exclusive to the convention. You should come to the convention, so it's exclusive here. It will leak online. We'll all watch it, and then, you know, a couple months later they'll fucking release it, and we won't care as much. We'll be like, oh, well, so
like Indiana Jones.
Well, like Indiana Jones, like Indiana Jones didn't do too bad, but
but you know what I mean. Like people act like, oh, no.
Yeah, it's like I had already seen like 95% of it. So when I saw it on the internet now, it wasn't like, oh, you know, freaking out, dude. Like that was already happened for me. And then so on but with the Skeleton Crew like trailer and stuff, like until we have something about what the release date, what the intention of the release date is, you know, who knows what they'll do. I would imagine though they will at some point start releasing stuff. But I'm a big pessimist about Star Wars Celebration and Star Wars Celebration Europe. Got to be honest with you guys. I hope I'm wrong. I love to be wrong. But when you look at like the big announcements from Star Wars Celebration Europe in the past, usually the announcements aren't as fruitful as the ones in the United States. That's just
Snyder disagrees.
Yeah, I know. And here's the other thing is that and Snyder just says he thinks that they're going to talk about their 5-year plan, which sounds like really, really cool, but it's what 2 to 3 movies. It's not a big,
and no one will, even if they do, no one will believe them because of how much shit they cancel.
Well, no,
like,
and
for
then,
real. Like,
but the other thing is like you have to look at like what Lucasfilm doesn't go above and beyond on the pre-show. They never do. They're kind of spoiled to just being like showing like a teaser image and everybody going, "Oh my god!" and then them thinking like, "Well, it's sold," you know. And,
do you think? Hold on.
Hold on.
Okay.
When they announce Lindelof's movie, if you think that they're gonna announce the whole cast with it, I think you're probably fucking high. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think I'm wrong. I think that just them announcing the Lindelof movie is enough for you. That's how they will look at it. And
yeah,
so
I wonder. You know who also had that mentality for the longest time was Blizzard. And remember when they announced like that Diablo Immortal game and then not Diablo 4 and shit, and
I don't
at BlizzCon it was a big thing, and then the fans were like booing them like they've never been booed before. But this is their con, not like a convention, like their con, right? Yeah, and they're getting booed. They never seen that before,
right?
And they were like, "What? Doesn't everyone have phones?" And that did not go over very well. So and I'm not one to get hyperbolic about, oh, what if fans bitch? So what? I'm like, yeah, but when you're at the church and the church people start booing you, you know what I mean? Like, I'll boo you outside of church, but when the church people are booing you from within, well, that's a whole nother fucking thing.
Yeah.
So I wonder if they did do some kind of like placated announcement, if people fucking actually booed, if that would change something over there, because I do think they're a little pretentious over at the Lucasfilm these days. You know,
no, they completely are. I mean, there's some really, really great people at Lucasfilm, and there's some fucking one step away from being trust fund babies who don't understand anything and are completely fucking idiots.
Epilorians.
But yeah. But that said, when it comes, Lucasfilm hasn't released that Lindelof is making a Star Wars movie, because we know, because you follow this our little tribe here, and because you might read the trades, your average Star Wars fan doesn't read the internet. The average Star Wars fan isn't participating. So when they go to Celebration and they announce Lindelof is just making a movie, like 90% of that room is going to be floored by it.
There were people at the barbershop to this day that had no idea Andor was related to Rogue One. They have Star Wars shit all over their walls, man.
Yeah.
You know? They're like, wait, what? Like, even now.
Yeah. Yeah, I honestly, looking back at Andor and being able to armchair it a little bit, I think it should have been called something like Rogue One Andor, or something that kind of like let people know that this is related to that movie that they saw in 2016. Some a Rogue One story or something, I don't know.
Rise of the Rogue One.
Rise of the Rogues.
Rise of the Rogues. Don't do that, Jason. That's just fucking some producers screaming.
It's a book now. Now it's a book. Yeah, but so anyways, I
Rogue
would love,
Squad.
well, by the way, the Ian Snyder, he was like flip-flopping back and forth. I understand I feel bad for him because I understand like the position that he was in on that, but he's like, the lead has been cast. I hear it's a person of color, which we all know means it's a black person. And then they were like, oh, it's a woman, it's not a male. Then he had to go back and say, no, okay, they clarified it's a male again. And so it was like back and back and back. And I wouldn't be surprised though if, like I said, based off of what I was told a little while ago, this is basically still an ensemble cast, and that you could have somebody be the emerging lead of this new story arc. I don't think it's going to necessarily be who we assume at the start, unless it goes swimmingly to plan, which they've had time. This one's planned. This one's been more planned than most. But anyways, if they have cast that person, if it's been signed, I do think it's almost only a matter of time before that hits the trades.
Do you think they lean in on letting everyone know that it's been planned out on some way?
Yes,
You know,
that's what this has been about the whole time. That original, like me and Bespin were saying, we are like 100%. This was given to the trades by somebody high up at Lucasfilm. It reads like a press release in some ways. It's like there are storied opportunities for your classic favorite sequel trilogy characters to appear.
Classic insider speak, right?
Yeah, and it's being planned out from the very start, you know. And it's like and it was like, yeah,
it has a toothy story arc. Like, oh, I got you.
It was trying to let the industry know that it's letting the industry know that the negative discourse was heard. That's what I think it was meant to like do. And it was meant to tell the industry about the storied opportunities that they have in front of them. Because you could go, it's a sequel trilogy like era film, and people could be like, oh, fucking hell, you know, like, you know, and like we don't really know what the sequel trilogy has laid out. For instance, we have Rey and Finn though that are supposedly gonna start the Jedi Order, right? So they're out there. The final order fell, and the leadership of the First Order fell, but the First Order from the Star Wars galaxy didn't show up to that fight on Exegol. If you watch episode 9, the First Order, like, people can still be out there. Who knows what other evil things might just fucking take its place? You know what I mean? Might take hold, or we might go into a warlord scenario like Mando, where all of those disparate things all became warlords, and then now here we are with this. You know, the Star Wars continue. So, but you know, it's you can't soundbite that very easily, and so you have to like show people that like, oh no, it's not just more of the same. It's you know, it's Star Wars, and it's going to continue. And so there are opportunities here, and it's not Rey's continued story, but that's what fans keep hearing. Fans keep hearing it's going to be episode 10. It's not. Mm-hmm. It just might have people who will be in episode 10 in it. That's what it comes down to.
Fans do fan math, and it's not healthy. Mm-hmm.
But what made Ahsoka's production different from Mando and Skeleton Crew? Just the management, or was there more to it?
Hold on, I'll get you a quote. I'll tell you what the difference is.
Jason, I'll tell you, it was Boons. Boons made all the difference.
Oh yeah, I'm glad you called it
strawberry lemonade Boons.
You usually call it Boonsoir.
Boonsoir. And ready on tap Biscoff cookies, my friend. Ready to go, Biscoff.
Love it. When I worked at the gas station as a teenager, a couple of the drunks would come in, and they used to be like, "It's time for my Boonsoir," because the Boonsoir was like $2. Boons was like $2, and so when they couldn't buy a 6-pack, they buy the Boonsoir.
Little goes a long way, Jason. All right, I gotta go make some Ahsoka.
You're not wrong. Bye.
See, yeah. But, take it from Felonious.
Yeah, maybe it was test footage you saw. I don't know what you're talking about, but test footage, like, I don't know when fans hear test footage, like, what do you think how that worked? I don't know.
Christopher Walken and Kurt Russell.
Yeah. But anyways, no, I think it was. I think it's production management, and also though at the same time, maybe when you have Dave Filoni there, maybe that's what changes things. On that production, maybe when you have some of the nicer people involved, maybe that makes a big difference. But also, just don't forget that there's some people that have to work on all of these, and they know the difference. So it is what it is. I can't get too specific. I don't want the thing I fear is there just being like some person, and they're like they start getting looked at sideways because of this, and they're not involved, or get the brunt of this fucking assholes like issues. So we'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, the crews are pretty good at letting shit out later. You know what I mean? Like if you piss enough people off, they'll eventually rat you out.
Dude, I would say like crews, like most of the time have almost like nobody wants to be the quitter, the coward, the person who doesn't work the hardest. That's my impression of every single person I've ever met or known who works in this realm. So it's when they make it completely unfair and impossible that you when they're treated like shit, like disrespectfully, when
I do know.
and in some of these productions, without going into specifics, some of like the leadership itself isn't doing what they're supposed to do. Like I talked about in that article. Did I mention union rules being broken and stuff like that?
I worked on a AAA game once for a while where I wasn't allowed to speak to the art directors.
Yeah. You're not
they
allowed
had to
look
speak
at
to other people who weren't art directors, who had to act like art directors and interpret. We weren't even allowed. And I was like, well, what do you mean by that note? They're like, I have no idea. I don't know what they mean. I was like, how am I supposed to make changes if I can't? Can I just speak to? Nope, can't do it.
And once again, guys, Arya's joking, but she's like, can't they just release Ahsoka on March 1st and delay Mando? Laughing myself. Yeah, but once again, Mando's done. Like it's done. Like it's
what happened on Mando happened a while ago.
A long time ago. Yeah.
A long time ago. Yeah.
There was like I said, there were like COVID issues, there was like small shutdowns and stuff involved. And that's what made us not really know for a while what was true. What was drama, what wasn't. And I think me and Bespin Bulletin are sort of getting the clear version of what this last year has looked like. It's probably a lot more to the story, though. Maybe it'll come out, somewhere.
I kind of hope, if it's not going to make people's lives better, I hope it doesn't, because then it becomes a giant distraction for the show. Then the crew don't get wins. Mm-hmm. So only if like it leads to management actually doing top-down leadership and taking care of this problem, so it doesn't happen again, Mm-hmm. But if it's just going to fucking like bring people who actually did the work problems, then I hope it doesn't go any further. You see what I mean?
Yeah. I was talking to a friend in a YouTuber about it, and we were just like having like a casual conversation. I was like, it's a lot more fun to get leaks given to me because they're excited about what they're working on, as opposed to here's validation I'm not lying and it's terrible. Like it's not as fun for me even, and this isn't about me. This is about them. And I hope that the people who bring this thing that I love to life, I hope that they're having a good life doing it. That's what I hope, and I think it's kind of important just that if they know that if you are a big shithead, you will go down as a shithead. Trust me, I'm a shithead. I know. But as the truth says, Jedi Survivor got rated T for teen today due to the usual violence and ass and bastard are heard in the game. Marin uses the B word in Fallen Order, but ass is new though. Yeah.
What if they were doing Bassmasters and they just got it confused? Like, Bassmasters.
Yeah, I think ass bastards. Maybe there's a level. Maybe there's a group called the ass bastards.
It's Luke. It's his code name. He's an ass bastard. He's a bastard.
It's just a typo in the script. It was actually Bassmaster. Yeah. But So, anyways, so that's not too bad. We are starting to see Star Wars getting a little bit more lax with language and a little bit more modern. And to some extent, I'm okay with it. I don't think I wouldn't like it. Yeah, I think like words like bastard, like Indiana Jones when he just says shit, like that stuff's fine. I think you have to be like a real like fucking little weirdo prude to even notice most of the time. The
one that kills me is when they go, they would never say money. And I'm like, well, here's Princess Leia saying it in A New Hope.
In the very first Star Wars.
I mean, come on, guys. Like, I didn't even have to watch. I know that. But come on. We've all seen these movies. Come on.
Yeah. I would gladly accept the argument of we have established credits and moved away from real world stuff. Let's keep it there. That would be a fine take. But to say you can't do it or it was a mistake, no, you're the wrong one in that one. You know.
Yeah, but I also think that people wouldn't shorthand language in a universe is ridiculous. You know,
Yeah.
someone will. You know, not everyone, but someone will. Like it's just human
I
nature.
don't think credits is that cool to be
Otherwise,
honest.
everyone's gonna fucking talk like that stilted prequel, like where they're all doing formalities and
I
shit.
prefer Republic Dietaries. That's what I prefer personally.
Jesus fucking Christ! And this is why Star Wars needs help. Like needs help.
Republic Dietaries. Green says, honestly, not surprised Ahsoka had a smooth production as Dave Filoni seemed to have Ahsoka carefully planned since the end of Rebels. And but once again, the problems that are existing it's not that anything's being half-assed. You know what I'm saying? It's like people like are literally leaving the job at times.
Look, I mean, like I said, I've worked on productions where you got a person who would like fucking, how do I say this? Like I worked on a job once where like, okay, you're supposed to log your work, right? And I had a convention to go to, and like all that shit was, the time was scored off. Everything was
it a boat show? Was it a boat convention?
No, it was Wizard World 2005, 2006, specifically 2006. And like it was like, oh, you know, you log all your shit, everything's turned in, and then hey, I'm off for the weekend, right? So I fucking do all that shit. I drive up to LA, we get to the fucking hotel, Staples Center and shit. We're all fucking, and my art director calls me and goes, "You didn't put your name on the comp." I'm like, okay, you know, and it was like the fucking dude's like, well, if you don't fix this, we're gonna have to talk to the production manager. And I'm just like, I'm in LA, dude. So I fucking turned around. I left the fucking hotel with my buddy, you know, let him stay there. Got in my car, had to, you know what it's like to take fucking 5:30, you know, at LA to get, it took me 3 hours to get back, right, just to put my name on a fucking comp, dude. And then I drove back to LA. So did the quality of work suck? No, but it's one of funny enough, that shit's still selling 15 fucking years later. But someone can just make everyone's lives miserable just because that's what they do, you know? And I'm friends with that guy. He goes, I don't even know why I did that to you. I don't, because you were being a fucking dick. You know? Like, it's just, I don't know. It's humans, man. Maybe the dude's got a bad home life and he's taking it out on folks or something. I don't know, you know?
Some people are like that. Some people are. Some people take it out. Some people go inward and then beat themselves up and all kinds of weird shit. But yeah. And it's like, so anyways, though, we don't know like if it's going to affect the quality of the show. And like you were saying, everything's already planned out for the most part. Like things they don't get on there and like, you know, try to explore it and find the script or anything like that with Star Wars. You can't. You have to, you know, these are prefabricated environments. Nothing is, you can't just go and, you know, set up a table and some chairs and start working it out. It's not like that usually. So, yeah, but this has to do with like, you know, people getting replaced and all kinds of shit like that. And just there's a lot of stories. There's a lot of stories right now with that kind of stuff. One thing I even heard is like I heard about somebody literally getting like pushed off so that way they could bring on somebody who they wanted to bring on. Then the person who they brought on quit because that person was such an asshole. Like stuff like that. Like, you know, I don't know those people for the record, so they're innocent in this. But it's those are the kinds of stories that are true and that they're going around. So anyways, yeah. But for the last time, it doesn't have anything to do with the pre-planning, with the post-planning, how it's going to, this could be the worst shows, to be the best shows. And it's not going to be the best show because they were mean. It's not going to be the worst show necessarily because they were mean either, because the thing about it is when they're treated poorly, they have to work harder. They have to work through it. And it doesn't necessarily, it just means that, you know, life is shit. So, but I hope, you know, I hope it gets better for them. You know, like I said, I love Star Wars, love what those people do. And we'll almost wrap up here. Sith Care Bear is I'm definitely just high. All right, dude. Nice. Keep it up.
You do you, boo.
You do you, man. He says, as long as they don't start wearing underwear in a galaxy far, far away, they can say whatever they want, in my opinion. I don't know, man. That shot of Biggs in her underwear kind of appreciated it. Kind of appreciated the Star Wars' first outing in the underwear. I can't lie.
Does the slave Leia outfit count? It's kind of underwear.
I don't know. She did the Rolling Stone cover on the beach in the water, so I'm gonna
Bro,
say it's beach.
in
So-
the Army, I got a Lego magazine that had that as a fold-out poster when episode 1 came out. The Lego magazine. And a big one, like a 24 by, 16 by 24 fold-out poster of her in that beach. And I put it right on the fucking wall. And guys were like, where did you get that? I'm like, the Lego magazine. You got to go pick up a copy. Yeah.
But yeah, my man, I'm not crazy about like I don't like the idea of Princess Leia being pushed down into just being a bikini girl. Like, and then especially what they did before that and what they did after. What does annoy me about it is shit like Hut Slayer. I don't think that was a good answer. Because that's like literally like saying that she like fucking kills Huts. Like that's like
she should have been up in that fucking battle leading the space battle while Han Solo was on the ground. I've been saying this since 1983. But trying to like keep a bunch of women. Look, there was a group of the con slave Leias.
It's a dancer's outfit. That's the point.
The slave Leia group, right? Like is this group of con girls that started doing this, and they were super empowered. And there was one of them that was kind of like really kind of helped start it. Her name was Sarah Schwartz, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was friendly with Sarah. I was friendly with her, man. And she unfortunately passed away from cancer, like 2000, I want to say 13 or 12, around there. Like really sad, like right after a con. And like there's a lot of like female empowerment that came with that stuff. And for the company to also be like, oh no, that doesn't exist because it's disrespectful. Like that's not what what was disrespectful was Lucas just not fucking giving Carrie a real role in that movie. Well, that was, but there's nothing you can do about that. You know what I mean? Like,
but nonetheless, it exists. And so it's up to them to manage the brand right with it. It doesn't mean run from it. Yeah, it means like, but don't lay into like, oh, now it's a Hut Slayer. Now she's a violent fucking, person. Like she killed one guy who had her chained to a thing. That's a Hut Slayer. And
then Filoni creates a baby hut, and then Princess Leia shows up and slays it.
In the script and the production art and stuff like that. And remember, we did that little piece on the woman who created it. I can't remember her name, unfortunately. But
yeah.
I mean, it was a dancer's outfit. So how about we don't call it slave Leia? How about we take away the BDSM, kind of like connotation, and we call it the dancer's outfit? Because we don't see her dance, but we do see women in the same outfit for the most part dancing in the movie before that, because that's what it was.
Can we call it Leia spray?
Yeah, but even like Lucas, fucking the hornball he is, lost sight of that. Like when you watch like the prequels, you'll just see like a Twi'lek, and she's just like fucking basically in the same outfit, like with senators. Like what are senators bringing fucking dancers with them now? Like was she there to present a bill that everybody dance now? Like what? Oh, hey George, I didn't see that.
And
everybody dance now.
And what's the problem? I don't put him in a choker, Jason. That's the I like him. I'll put him in a choker. What?
Baron Papanoida, you know what you're doing, man. You know what you're doing. Little hornball.
I like taking blue aliens to the space opera.
Yeah, you do, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
Like that body paint. He likes that body paint stuff. He's into that body paint. But
you want an uncomfortable story? Since you brought up body paint.
Oh, I got one too. Go ahead.
My mom loved the beach, right? Like she was like one of those bronzers,
Oh yeah.
And I was in the 7th grade, and
my mom too. She looks like bacon now.
Yeah, she did. And for some reason, so she invites my friends. We're gonna have this barbecue at the beach. I'm like, all right, and I brought like a fruit. I brought some stuff I could play. I'm like, all right. My mom puts on body paint pasties on her breast areas, dude. Like sunflowers.
Yeah.
And it was the most horrific moment of my life, dude.
Yeah.
My fucking friends were just like, what is this? I'm like, I don't know. Gotta make it stop.
Yeah.
I just walked away, dude. I was at Belmont Park. I just walked away. I couldn't deal with it. Like, I don't know what my life is anymore.
I have this succession of voicemails left to me from like when I was about 20 years old that we saved. We were going to use it as a bonus track on an EP. and I met a girl. We hooked up, and then I went to work because I had to work. Had to eat. And during the course of that work day, this person called me about 20 times. And like the first 5 calls, like the first 5 messages are just like, hey, are you around? Hey, what's going on? Hey, how's it going? And then like the next 5 calls are like starting to get angry. Like, and then somewhere around the middle of it, she's like, I just want you to know I went and bought body paint. You want to use body paint with me tonight? And then at the end, she's like, I'm never talking to you again.
To be fair, you've done some crazy shit when you were a kid, too.
I was just at work, though. I was just at work. It was just an 8-hour work day. And this is before, like, this is like 1999. Like, what can I do?
Right.
I didn't have a cell phone yet. Like it was pretty funny, though. I mean, when you're young, you're fucking crazy.
People forget the joy of like continuous messages on an answering machine.
Oh, it's crazy.
That like tell a whole story, Like...
and a lot of the times they would just like there'd be like 4 calls in a row where they just hang up, but then like that one of the ones where the message in that minute span was them for sure.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah.
It was like a whole subtlety to it back then, but also lots of opportunities for people to get framed on accident. Like somebody could hang up 5 times and somebody calls, leaves a message, now you think it's them and it wasn't them. But anyways, yeah, but fucking body paint's gross. I don't want anything to do with body paint. Anyways, let's call it a day, Rob. We're an hour and 21. Yeah, let's do it.
We are?
Oh. Yeah, that's fucking okay. But before we go, I just want everybody to take this away with them tonight.
Pop it to start.
Everybody bop it. And we'll see everybody tomorrow, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Might have a little story tomorrow. I have a fun little story. Something I got like very, quadruply confirmed at this point. That
nothing to do with Reddit.
No, not today.
Good.
I don't ever want to talk about that again.
I'm Reddited out.
I'm Reddited out too, man.
I don't even go on that place. I'm tired of hearing. I'm like, why don't I even go on Reddit? Why do I have to hear about Reddit?
I know.
Even with UFO shit, I'm like, fucking Reddit. Like,
fucking Reddit, man. You guys are crazy. But yeah. I mean, if it didn't involve me, I wouldn't have anything to do with it at all. But
fair enough. I'm just talking about Reddit. Like, I'm just, I'm still waiting for all that UFO shit to leak on Reddit. It's never happened.
Gotta be honest right now, though, with how Twitter's going, I think I'm believing in Reddit more lately than that shithole. But
when you say more, you know what I mean? That's like quotation marks.
More. I mean, like as in I barely believe in anything right now.
Or for less furniture.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. More for less. Pay less. Remember Payless? They still around? Anyways, all right.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Bye. Say bye, Rob.
Bye, Rob.
The end of the show.
Come on, let's go. Hey!
It's the end of the show.
Come on, let's go. Hey!
It's the end of the show.
Come on, let's go. Hey!
You know you should go.
Come on, let's go.
It's not about spaceships.